What's up, everybody? Rob here. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, cashless society. What does it mean when someone says cashless society? It's a very popular topic these days. I want to talk all about cashless society, why I think it is inevitable, is happening, that we will no longer have cash or coinage in our society, and what I am doing about that. So if you have been wanting to know about this subject, this might be a video to watch all the way through. Hope it helps you in some way. So first, let's tackle the issue of cashless society and why I think it is inevitable. The best point that I have is looking at these notes right here. When you dig into our actual currency that we have today, so you have these blue $100 bills. Why? This is really I always in a debate, you want to find that one point that is just the needle to the balloon. This is really that point for me with cashless society. It's like, why do we have a $100 bill as the highest denomination if we're going to continue to use cash? If the government wanted us to have money outside of the system, why would the highest denomination be these $100 bills? Why would I need to have this much cotton here to have $250,000? To have 250,000, why should I have to do this? It's quite a hassle to do that. Now, that being said, I would never have this much fiat currency. This is monopoly money, kind of similar to the real thing, but not quite. Not quite. Just kidding. But seriously, studio money is what I mean by that. But these, on the other hand, are real. This is a $500 bill, or these rather, I have three of them here. These are $500 bills from 1934. One is from Chicago, one is from New York. Let's see, where's the other one from here? And one is from Pennsylvania. So Chicago, a New York, and a Pennsylvania. I got three different varieties of $500 bills here, all from 1934. I remember the first time I saw a $500 bill in the industry that I'm in collectibles, and I thought to myself, why don't these still exist? These are awesome. You know, it's like I got a rent payment, you know, maybe it's $1,500. Wouldn't it be easy just to go, here you go. Not with these, obviously, because they're worth more than a lot more than $500 each. But why don't we have a fancy schmancy $500 bill? We have these fancy schmancy $100 bills. Why not a fancy schmancy $5 bill? Or I mean, a $500 bill. So you got that cute little plastic strip in these, right? The little blue strip. You got the nice blue monopoly money look to it. Why not have a bill like that was a $500 bill? Why not have a bill like that that's a $1,000 bill? They actually used to have $1,000 bills. They had $10,000 bills. They even had $100,000 bills. This was back in the 30s and before that. Why would they need it back then? Why was it the $500 bill back in the 30s? This was a pretty strong amount of money back then. You would think after all the inflation that's happened and the dollar losing 98% plus of its value, that you would want a higher denomination note to adjust to that inflation. It's interesting. This is an old $20 piece. This is an old $20 St. Gaudens, right? So that's what $20 in American currency used to be. This was an ounce of gold. Today's going rate on an ounce of gold is a little bit under $1,900. This was $20 back then. Why don't we have money like this anymore? This is a Morgan dollar. Here's a 50-cent piece. Here's a quarter. Why did American currency used to look like this and now it looks like that? These are questions I ask myself, you know? $20, $1, 50 cents, quarter. Why did it used to look like this, be made out of silver, be made out of gold? Why did the notes used to be redeemable to that metal? And why did they used to be in higher denominations? Well, because back then, the money had its own sovereignty to it in a way. There was almost a republic of the money. The reason in our Constitution, the United States Constitution, it says money shall be printed on only silver and gold coinage. I probably butchered that in some way, shape, or form, but it is actually in there in the Constitution that the states shall only make money out of silver and gold coins. The reason for that is because the citizens had silver and gold if they didn't trust the government anymore. The citizens still had the power of that money being money. Now we must trust that this money is money based on trust. That's really all it is. It's notes back to debt. Notes back to nothing but debt. And that debt continues to grow. And it keeps getting printed and it keeps getting printed. And before you know it, you start using these types of things as building blocks. It makes your mind kind of scramble a little bit. But to get back on topic, the main point is if the money was meant to be outside of the digital realm, outside of the banks, we would have higher denomination notes. And they could make a fancy high denomination note. I know it's a little like to say something like it's scary to have that much money on one note if it could possibly be forged or something along those lines, which leads to another point that the paper currency is kind of old and outdated. And when you have a society that is capable of producing very, very high-end fakes of fake gold bars, fake silver bars, fake notes, it gets scary to have these pieces of paper to be your currency. But that's kind of why it used to be gold. The paper was really just IOU notes back to the real money, which was gold. We kind of got bamboozled there in 1971 by Richard Nixon when they changed us off the gold standard. But that's the first 2 points really and the two best points is the first one, if the system wanted the citizens to have money outside of the system in coins, in paper currency, they would have A, a higher denomination note, and B, the money would still be made out of silver and gold. But we don't have that. We have Sacagawea dollars that are not even plated in real gold. We have fake plated gold coins. Our coins are made out of nickel and clad. They don't have any precious metals. Our pennies don't even have real copper anymore. Not only that, but our pieces of paper are not only, they're colored like monopoly money. So not only are we like practically using monopoly money, it looks like it too. But that's the point number one. I don't want to ramble too much on that, but I hope it drives it home a bit for people. The next reason is that it's obvious that the society that we are in today is capable of producing very good forgeries. So both of those things combined really are the best 2 points on why we are not going to have physical cash in our hands, physical coins in our hands, other than if we actually invest in what we used to have. If we invest in gold that we store in our safes, if we invest in silver that we store in our safes, platinum, if we have those actual metals, then we are actually storing money that is universal money. But if we're just storing quarters, modern dollars, plated gold Sacagawea dollars, we don't really have money outside of the system. You know, it technically is money, but is it really? And are they going to continue to produce those items in the future? When you see Janet Yellen and what they're doing in the Treasury, at the Fed, they are trying to push these CBDCs now. They're trying to say that the dollar is strong after printing gold's entire market cap in 2020. All of these things to me says they're scared. They're scared and they have to say these things. They have to say, oh, we believe the dollar is strong. We believe inflation isn't really a real thing. Inflation isn't a real thing, really? Really, Janet Yellen? You've just printed gold's entire market cap in 2020. $10 trillion is printed alone roughly in 2020. And they're saying that inflation isn't existing. The dollar is strengthening. Does anybody buy that? Because I don't. I don't buy that. So what do we do about this? Now that we know that the society is definitely moving in the direction of going digital, just the fact that CBDCs are coming out, are being pushed right now, which is basically fiat currency digital. That's what a CBDC is. Central Bank Digital Currency, CBDC. They can do a secondary in these CBDCs. They can poof more money into that digital currency. So it basically is just fiat currency digital, where they can print as much at will. That drives me into another point here. More than 90% of money worldwide in dollars is digital already. It's not even cash. So less than 10% of the money out there is cash or coins. So it just goes to show you that we're already pretty much there, you know? So what do we do about this? What do we do about this? I'll tell you what I'm going to do about this. My videos are supposed to be seen as financial education based on my opinion. This is not to be taken as financial advice in any way, shape, or form. I think that's a good time to say that. Also, it's a good time to say if you see any value in these videos, it takes a lot of effort to make these videos, but I really love doing them. It's been extremely rewarding, and I've been humbled by all the good responses from everybody. So I really appreciate you all being here. But if you could, I would really appreciate you. Got that fancy pillow, smash that like button. If you are sick of this stuff right here, smash that like button. Would really appreciate it. Really does help this video reach more people. It helps with the YouTube algorithm, and it helps get better rankings in the system. So if you could do that, I'd really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please click that red subscribe button down below. It is free, and would love to have you in the community. If you click the bell afterwards, you'll be notified of future videos. I try my best to not put content out there that isn't worthwhile. Otherwise, like, what's the point? But let's get into what I'm doing about this. Personally, I think CBDCs are going to backfire. I think the society is going to go, actually, you have made this stuff worth a whole lot less, all of you banks out there. It's only so ironic that the banks dilute the system with 0% interest rates right now, in fractional reserve banking, giving out all of these loans. People, they've given out bad loans. They've diluted our currency by doing so. The Fed has diluted our currency by printing so much at will. And then when they fail, like Bank of America failed after 2007, we go and bail them out of bankruptcy, the citizens. So with their diluted currency that they are responsible for diluting, the citizens now will take the same currency that was diluted, while their wages are staying the same, or not going up nearly at the same rate, and pay off the people that diluted the currency in the first place. And we're going to trust them again with these CBDCs? Really? Anybody buying that? Because I'm not. That is why I look at Bitcoin as such a unique thing. Because when I realized this was the eureka moment for me. When I finally realized, oh, we don't have higher denomination notes. No, we are not making our money out of gold and silver anymore. Well, we're 100% going cashless. Do I want to trust the current system in a digital realm? That was my eureka moment myself for Bitcoin. I don't know how it might have been Michael Saylor's eureka moment, might be different. Everybody else's eureka moment might be different, but that was mine personally, where I went, okay, we are inevitably going to a digital society. I would rather have a decentralized digital currency than a CBDC, because obviously the people that are in control really couldn't run a bingo hall, let alone the monetary system. So Bitcoin is a beautifully elegant thing where people are rewarded for mining it on an individual sovereign basis. People can trade peer-to-peer without any central party, without any central bank. It's elegant, and it hardens over time. You can't announce a secondary like you could with a CBDC and dilute the currency even more than it already is. That's why I think a CBDC will backfire, and society will take every 3 of these, take this 30,000 in fiat and poof it into Bitcoin. Every time someone buys a Bitcoin, it's taking about that and taking it out of the system. And then another Bitcoin, take it out of the system into Bitcoin. I think a CBDC will backfire, and that will accumulate over time. How many people move out of dollars into Bitcoin, move out of dollars into gold, into silver. I think that will only, the movement to digital currency will enhance the amount of people that want to get into decentralized assets. It could be a collectible. It could be a watch. It could be silver, gold. It could be Bitcoin. But I don't want to be using a CBDC that is still connected to the people that damage the currency as much as they already have. That's what I'm doing personally. I'm still extremely bullish on precious metals. I have much more precious metals than I do Bitcoin, but Bitcoin is something that if we are in fact going to a digital society, if that is inevitable, which for the reasons I described before, I believe is an inevitable thing, then it only makes so much sense to use something that is decentralized. And that's where I really am fond of Bitcoin, and I'm happy it exists, quite frankly. If it didn't exist, it would be very scary because we wouldn't have any other choice. But because of Bitcoin's existence, we do have a choice. Do we want to be in a CBDC, or do we want to have a decentralized digital currency? That's pretty much all of the points I wanted to go over in the video. And I think as we gravitate towards this digital society, I think more and more people are going to want to take profits from their stock market positions, especially, I'm surprised Janet Yellen's comments didn't crash the stock market, quite frankly. She said she wants you to pay capital gains and gains taxes on gains you haven't even accepted yet. So if you're up a lot on Tesla, if you're up a lot on Apple, if you're up a lot in your stock positions, Yellen wants to tax you prior to you selling those positions. So wouldn't you want to just sell those positions now and start a business? Put it into gold, put it into silver, put it into Bitcoin or wherever you want to put it so it's decentralized in some way, shape, or form. You'd still have to pay capital gains taxes on that, right? If that's true. But you want to get out of the currency that is being it's being done in. It's what she said was, I'm surprised the stock market didn't reflect on what she said. I guess she isn't quite yet the Treasury Secretary, but it was pretty outlandish, the things that Yellen said. Made me rather scared, and I made a video about it. I think it's the video right prior to this one. So that is the video. What am I doing about this? I am going heavier into precious metals. I am going heavier into Bitcoin, and I think it is an inevitable movement from cash and coinage because it's already something that's overly printed. We only have $100 bills as our highest denomination. It would make so much more sense to have higher denomination notes, or notes that are, fancier, made out of a different substance than paper. Something like that. Oh, you mean like something like gold. If we had gold coins, if we had something along those lines, I would trust that we would go to a physical currency. But I don't see that ever happening. I see this stuff slowly getting burned away and these notes slowly changing to being digital CBDC money. That's the video. Thank you so much for watching. If you have not subscribed to the channel, would love to have you as a subscriber. If you saw some value in this video, I said it earlier, but if you could smash that like button, would really appreciate it. Thanks for being here. See you at the next video. Signing out.